organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, we all had a holiday earlier in the week, but we'll tell you how students are still celebrating Martin Luther King Day.
Plus, snow is on its way, but I've got some brighter news coming up later in weather.
And in sports, the defending Big Ten championship track team opened up their indoor season in fine fashion this past weekend. Find out more coming up.
All that and more is coming your way next. Daily Iowan TV starts now. Thanks for tuning in to your Thursday edition of Daily Iowan TV, your television news, sports, and weather source for the Daily Iowan. I'm Jake Abrams. Now, in collaboration with Martin Luther King Celebration Week, the Iowa City community gathered Wednesday evening at the Iowa City Public Library, and as Daily Iowan TV's Muriel Kune found out, it was a panel event geared from an Iranian perspective.
Whether it be Iranian food, culture, or its economy, this audience certainly had their dose of everything Iranian. With the looming dispute between the Iranian government and the United States, why, some may ask, would you put on such an event?
I don't think Iranian people have gotten much of a chance to introduce themselves to the world and to introduce their culture, their art, and everything about Iranian people.
But in light of the various conflicts between the two countries, audience members were able to ask a panel of both native and American-born Iranians a few questions about the culture.
Everything we have in Iran is in cash. We don't buy anything based on loan. We don't buy anything up to the time we have the cash flow.
Not only are there differences between the two cultures, there are also some similarities.
Actually, when I get back here, they know more than me. They know about what is the best music right now in the United States, what is the best brand. All of them, they have, most of them, my friends actually, they had like iPhone 4S and they had iPad. They had all latest technology.
However, some members of the panelists wanted to give a different outlook on the Iranian culture.
I feel like it's really important to give a human aspect to something that is often convoluted with government and, scary things. The best way to learn about other people is meeting other people.
So whether it is Martin Luther King's Day or not, conversations on diversity will continue to take place. This is Muriel Kone, Daily Iowan TV.
Now, the UI community gathered for another event in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The event last night, Drumming for Justice, was celebrated at the Iowa Memorial Union. The event was put on by the African American Cultural Center, the same organization that held that Unity March back on Monday. At Drumming for Justice, faculty members and students gathered to celebrate and speak about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. There was also performances from the choir and the Yahoo Drummers. Now, the week-long celebration ends Tuesday, January 31st, with a lecture from law professor Tamiko Brown-Nagin from the University of Virginia. And we are down to 4 candidates left in the race to the White House as Texas Governor Rick Perry has removed himself earlier today from the Republican presidential race.
So I will leave the trail, return home to Texas, wind down my 2012 campaign. And I will do so with pride, knowing I gave fully of myself of a cause worthy of this country.
Perry also endorsed GOP hopeful Newt Gingrich. And the man that's fighting to stay in the White House spent the day at Disney World, but he wasn't there for fun and games this time. He's proposing new initiatives for tourists to come to America.
And that's why we're all here today, to tell the world that America is open for business. We want to welcome you and to take concrete steps to boost America's tourism industry so that we can keep growing our economy and creating more jobs here in Florida and all across the country.
And the search for the remaining 21 missing passengers on the overturned cruise ship continues today. This is footage of rescue crews being airlifted on the side of the vessel. The rescue team are now using explosives to blow holes in the ship to search for victims. At least 11 people are known to be dead. Still to come on Daily Iowan TV, find out how refrigerators and twins are linked in a new university study. And it's been a upset city in Big Ten basketball. This city, ups and downs for every team. But is the Big Ten Conference the nation's best? That's just ahead in sports. But first, Daily Iowan TV's Brad Maxwell joins us for a look at what we'll wake up to tomorrow morning. Brad?
Yeah, Jake. Unfortunately, I have some bad news as we'll wake up tomorrow morning to snow flurries and frosty 10 degrees. The snow should wind down in the afternoon as temperatures don't get much better, around 17 at midday and a chilly 15 and windy at night. Not so pleasant. But I do have good news regarding the weekend forecast coming up later in the show. Jake?
All right, thanks, Brad. We'll see you soon. But before we find out if we're going to get a little warmer later in the week, Daily Iowan TV's Chelsea Byrne is here for a look at Hawkeye sports.
Thanks, Jake. Well, it can easily be called one of the most unpredictable conferences in men's college hoops. There is constant turnover at the top of the Big Ten men's basketball standings, and just 3 weeks in, and there are multiple contenders for the conference crown. Daily Iowan TV Sports' Mike Howell took a look at the beginning of the Big Ten season.
The men's basketball team is off to its best start to the conference season in 5 years. And although they don't have a winning record, currently sitting at 3-4, the Hawks are not a doormat in the Big Ten this season. After their upset win against Michigan, guard Devin Marble describes what their wins have meant moving forward.
Just making sure we still know that we still can compete and beat any team in this league. So I think that was helpful.
And according to RPI rankings, those wins have been pretty impressive. The Big Ten is the RPI's #1 ranked conference. They have 9 top 50 RPI teams. The Big East has 7, and the Big 12 and ACC both have 4. But the Big Ten has no clear-cut frontrunner right now as the top dogs just keep knocking each other off. Preseason favorite Ohio State is tied for second place, dropping 2 games to Illinois and Indiana. 9th-ranked Michigan State looked to have a solid lead a week ago, but has dropped 2 consecutive road games to Northwestern, and this heartbreaker to in-state rival Michigan. 11th-ranked Indiana beat 2 top 15 teams early in the Big Ten season, but now is on a 3-game losing skid after missing these 2 shots to win the game in Lincoln on Wednesday. Illinois and Michigan are tied for first as of today, with the 6 other teams within 2 games of first place, halfway through Big Ten play. It's an open race for Big Ten supremacy. Mike Howell, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The Hawks are currently only 2 games back of first place with their next conference game against Nebraska on January 26th. And the New Year's Classic on January 14th kicked off the Iowa indoor track season and turned out to be quite an exciting day for the Hawkeyes. The 2011 Big Ten Outdoor Champions ended the meet with 24 first-place finishes. Junior Jeff Thode had another reason to celebrate as he broke the record for the 2-mile run. Annie Constable has more.
The 44-year-old record for the 2-mile run was erased at this year's New Year's Classic. The new name with the fastest time, junior distance runner Jeff Thode.
Obviously, for anybody who breaks the record, obviously it's good to do so. But in terms of my success here at the school, in terms of breaking records since I was a freshman here, it's just another record down.
Thode has broken many records here at the UI since his career started, but doesn't let the pressure get to him.
I just run on how I feel. I really don't worry about breaking the record or worry about thinking about the record until I'm across that finish line.
I'm standing in the UI Rec, the stage where junior Jeff Thode broke the 44-year-old record for the 2-mile run by a 1/10 of a second. The previous record holder, head coach Larry Wazorek, who just explained he couldn't be happier for Thode.
It was great. It was great to have Jeff do it, and it was it's kind of a fun thing because we don't actually run the 2-mile run as a regular race.
Thode's record-breaking performance was just the beginning for the Hawks, and head coach Wazorek has a positive outlook on the rest of the season.
We're pretty optimistic, and we have reasons to be optimistic. We have lots of new people in. We have lots of returning athletes. I think we did get off to a good start in our first meet, And now each weekend the level of competition steps up a little bit. But, you know, if we keep everybody healthy and everybody on the straight and narrow, you know, I think we have plenty of reasons to be optimistic.
After his record-breaking 2-mile run, Thody has already proven he will be a huge part of the team's success this year. Ann Costable, DITV Sports.
The team heads to Nebraska this weekend for the Adidas Classic, where they will also be competing for the Big Ten Championships later in the season. That's it for sports tonight. Jake, back to you.
All right, thanks, Chelsea. Now, police were called to the Blue Moose Tavern last night when two females got a little too rowdy. Jordan Miller allegedly spit in the face of the victim before punching her in the face. She's been charged with assault, causing bodily injury. And a North Liberty man was arrested and charged last night after allegedly stealing a bottle of Patron tequila and a PlayStation controller from two Iowa City businesses. Nathaniel Mateabu has a record of 6 other previous theft charges over the last 4 years. Now, you can make cottage cheese, meats, and other cheeses last long when you place them in the refrigerator, but what about blood? Researchers from the University of Iowa's DeGowan Blood Center are in the process of collecting blood tests on twins, part of a red blood cell study. Daily Iowan TV's Nick Rector caught up with these researchers to dig deeper into their project.
It started with an old science book. Thomas Rafe, medical director of the university's DeGowan Blood Center, was reading about blood theories from the 1960s. Then it happened. He had made a discovery. Rafe reintroduced this old theory he found about genetics and red blood cell storage into the science world as he and his colleagues began a new study.
I think we can appreciate that anything that we put in the refrigerator, to use a common example, cottage cheese or something, over a period of time it decays. Everything decays sitting at refrigerator temperatures. And red blood cells are no exception.
Along with the 1960s theory, Rafe believes that the makeup of red blood cells are inherited. To find out, he examined and compared blood donated by identical and non-identical twins aged 18 and up. 14 pairs of twins have donated, and 10 more pairs have also agreed to the study. The results should give Rafe the answer that he is looking for.
There are at least 5 or 6 major research laboratories around the country that are studying the effects of blood storage on patients and studying the biochemistry of stored blood. But because the idea that the properties of stored blood are probably inherited has not been a part of this discussion, I think we're well ahead of everyone else in this regard.
Rafe and his colleagues were given $50,000 for the ongoing study. If their theory proves correct, they will set the curve for red blood cell research, and a larger study will likely take place at the university. Nick Rector, Daily Iowan TV.
Now, if you have a twin and are both interested in taking part in the study, feel free to contact Thomas Rafe at 319-356-0369. But now Brad Maxwell is back with a look at your weekend forecast. And Brad, please give me something to look forward to this weekend. I don't want to have to wear my gloves and hat all weekend.
Well, there's one day to circle on your calendar to leave the house, and that's Sunday. But let's take a look at Saturday first. We'll get to 23 degrees with a low of 19 with sun throughout the day. Sunday, we jump up to almost 40 degrees. Don't ask me where that came from. But get outside during the day because Sunday night will dip down back to 24 degrees. That's your weekend forecast. Jake, back to you.
All right, thanks, Brad. And did you see this? Tim Tebow may have ended the season on a sour note, but that's not holding back his fans' taste buds. There's an Alabama pizza joint called Famous Joe's Pizzeria, and they're quite the artists with the sauce and the cheese. This is a Tim Tebow portrait pizza. The restaurant has an entire series of designs sculpted out of pizza ingredients. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Friday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Tomorrow you can read about how occupiers in College Green are quickly decreasing. Plus read about how the prestigious Iowa Writing Program is starting to offer certificates to students in numerous universities of Iowa's colleges. That's your latest edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check us out at the same time on Sunday or anytime online at dailyiowan.com. For Daily Iowan TV, thanks for watching and have a great night.